Probé de todo, ser la máxima figura de la lucha libre en México. Ahora brinco a Estados Unidos y con WWE, ¿para qué? Para que esto siga creciendo, porque ahora tengo enfrente una montaña que tengo que escalar para poder llegar a los Estados Unidos a la cima. Y sé que con mi talento y con mi trabajo, mi esfuerzo y con la sed de triunfo lo voy a lograr.
Y gracias por estos momentos para Tercera Caida.
No, al contrario, muchísimas gracias por la entrevista y estén pendientes porque van a ver si estoy en Raw o SmackDown.
Y le deseamos el mayor éxito a Sin Cara en este camino que inicia y ya estaremos pendientes de qué es lo que sucede en WWE. Muchas gracias y continuamos con más con esto que es Tercera Caida. Amigos de Tercera Caída y de Tercera Deportes, nos encontramos con una leyenda de la WWE, Hall of Famer, good old JR. Thank you for this minute.
Oh, thank you. It's been a great trip. You know, this is my first trip to Mexico City, and I have had a great time. It's really been fun. I'm still looking for that one great big Mexican family cooked meal.
Oh.
So I'm out for now we're getting our work all done. It's time to eat, and I can tell I like to eat.
So today, more barbecue, Mexican food.
I get barbecue back in Oklahoma, and our little website we have, jrsbarbecue.com, and so we enjoy that. But I want the real deal here. I want to experience real, authentic Mexican food, and so hopefully we'll get that done.
There are some questions. You're one of the people in business who has a great knowledge about wrestling. You worked a lot of years in wrestling. What are your favorite wrestlers that you've seen in all career?
Well, that would be like asking me of my two daughters which is my favorite daughter, right? Or do you like barbecue ribs or do you like barbecue brisket better? There are so many guys that I have respected over the years. The trailblazers from the 40s and the 50s that traveled everywhere by car, didn't make a lot of money, that worked 6 or 7 days a week, that their bodies took a beating, that paved the way for what we're doing now. A lot of the old-timers, you read back in the history of this country, the El Santos and Gory Guerreros, those guys were always really important to me because they laid a foundation. And then when I first got in the business in '74, Mil Mascaras was becoming a huge star. And he became a huge star all over the world, headlining Madison Square Garden and all kinds of big TV events and things. So the Man with a Thousand Masks was very influential in that regard. Moving forward, you get close to the people that you recruit and sign. I was involved in signing Triple H, and I signed Stone Cold Steve Austin, and I signed The Rock, and I signed John Cena and Rey Mysterio. Randy Orton. There's just so many guys that while I was working in administration that we were fortunate enough to be able to convince to come to work at our company. So it's hard to say, one guy. Andre the Giant was a unique guy because of his size and his demeanor. But I've known so many over the years that it's like, you work with people and they become part of your family. They're your buddies. They're friends of yours. So it's hard to say, well, I like that guy. I like that friend better than that friend. A lot of them have become very close, and I have great respect for the whole genre. In Mexico, the United States, Japan, wherever it may be.
Why Sin Cara? Why all this big presentation?
Well, he's special. He's the kind of, it reminds me, and I'm dating myself here age-wise, but way back in the day when the Dodgers found Fernando Valenzuela, and he had that great curveball, and he could throw off-speed stuff, and the Dodgers signed him out of Mexico, right? And he goes to L.A. and he becomes a star. Is arguably one of the most popular players to ever play in the major leagues. But somebody, a scout, saw something in this kid. I think that the same thing is the case with Sin Cara, is the fact that we see him. A lot of us have looked at his work online and have said, this is a prodigy. This young man is gifted. And I didn't know anything about his character or his training or anything. I just saw the TV screen. Since then, upon meeting him, he's a very honorable, polite, respectful young guy. And he's young. That's the great thing. He's young. So he's got great years ahead of him. So I just think when you look at his athleticism and his ability to create offense, you hear that a lot in basketball. Well, the point guard is able to create offense. Or in football, midfielder is able to create offense. Well, this young man creates offense in the ring that is very unique. Reminds me somewhat of Rey Mysterio. There's a lot of comparisons favorably that could be made, and that probably should be made. But I think he'll establish his own legacy there at WWE and will be a big star. It's one of those things where it's hard you can't smell it or feel it or describe it sometimes when someone has it. Sin Cara has it. And I hope that it translates into a long, profitable, productive career for him.
Those are big words coming from people who saw that all big superstars in all those years. So
I got lucky. I signed a lot, around a lot of guys, and a lot of the guys I signed, had that same trait. They had the intangible element that made them want to be the best at what they did. And whether it was The Rock or Austin or Triple H or Cena or Orton or Rey Mysterio, who had been a veteran. And when we signed him, after he had some injuries, and I worked a contract out with him and signed Ray, and it was almost a new start for Ray. New company, new presentation. You're going to be global, Ray. You're going to become you have the opportunity to become a global star. And Rey Mysterio to this day is just as popular in Japan as he is in the UK. And that's the magic of WWE. They're in 145 countries in about 30 languages. So now those 145 countries are going to see what many of us know, that Sin Cara is very special. He has it.
After see what happened with Alberto Del Rio, after see what happened with Sin Cara, the WWE, it's checking out the Mexican market. It's checking out the Mexican wrestling.
As I said, I don't think that Sin Cara will be the last young superstar that goes from Mexico to the WWE. I don't know when it's going to be. I don't know who it's going to be. But I know that somewhere down the road, when these young kids start competing and they see what's happened with Rey Mysterio, what's happened with Alberto Del Rio, what's going to happen with Sin Cara, that's going to be a goal. And I think that goal is great. It's like my friend Eduardo Nahara went to Oklahoma and played basketball. But his goal as a kid, growing up here, was to be in the NBA. And he lived his dream. I think a lot of young wrestlers are going to look at going to WWE like going to the NBA if they're a basketball player and try to live their dream.
Thank you very much, JR. Thank you for this minute. It's a pleasure to talk of wrestling with you. And we miss you on the announce table.
I appreciate it. Thanks very much. And you guys are doing a great job broadcasting Raw, and the audience is excellent. They're loyal. The fans of your network are loyal, and the Raw brand is just something that is bigger than any individual. And some of my best nights of my life are sitting right there at ringside having a blast. So I miss it, but I don't miss the broadcast. I'm a fan just like everybody else. So thanks for having me on.
Muchas gracias para Jim Ross, un integrante del Salón de la Fama. Ya vieron el trabajo que está haciendo el hombre que firmó a Sin Cara. Continuamos con más aquí en Tercera Caída.
También tiene...
Qué interesante entrevista de todos los conceptos de Jim Ross, una gran leyenda, integrante del Salón de la Fama de la WWE, dándole la bienvenida a Sin Cara, al hombre que conocimos como Místico.
Y ya en lo que es el medio local se han dado muchas noticias con respecto de que si Dr. Wagner se va al Consejo Mundial de Lucha Libre. Vamos a escuchar lo que nos dijo Dr. Wagner con respecto de esto que se ha platicado, porque se habla de que pueden ir los perros, de que puede ir Dr. Wagner de regreso al Consejo Mundial.
Sí, un plan emergente del Consejo Mundial de Lucha Libre, porque la ausencia de Místico se va a resentir bastante en sus entradas en las arenas del Consejo Mundial. Vamos a escuchar las palabras, lo que opina de este tema el Dr. Wagner Jr.
Tú sabes que no tenemos la vida comprada y mucho menos el trabajo. Entonces cabe decir que todo puede suceder en la historia de la lucha libre. Ahorita estoy bien aquí en esta compañía de AAA me da la oportunidad, me mantengo dentro del gusto de los aficionados gracias a mi trabajo y ahora sí que las